Yeah, I really consider this to be like a trophy property. Like if you want to have that property in your portfolio, you want that vacation home, you want it to be this, definitely. Okay.
So we're trying to create essentially one of the most exclusive and luxurious hotels and residential towers in all of Miami.
Hi, my name is Nayla Benitez. I am your Miami luxury realtor. And today I am here with Adrian at the Mandarin Oriental Residences in Brickell. And I have to tell you, if I had the money, I would buy here. This is how much I absolutely love this project. Thank you for having us here.
Of course, thank you for coming.
And I guess the first question, right, that everybody wants to know is, why the Mandarin Oriental? What makes this the project people should buy? Because obviously we know there's a lot going on in Miami. There's a lot of new construction happening. Why this?
Yes, so I get that question a lot, especially because there is a lot of new developments in Miami right now. This, for me, we have the most unique property in Miami. And in Miami, I just talk about South Florida, but really, I personally think in all of Florida. We're sitting on the island of Brickell Key, which nothing has been built here for the last 15 years.
I know.
We're sitting on 5 acres of land on the tip of an island. So essentially you have property that is wrapped in water with water on 3 sides, living on your own private island with the connectivity and walkability over to our amazing Brickell neighborhood. So when you line that up along with an amazing developer like Swire Properties that we have here, and a legendary brand like the Mandarin Oriental who's bringing their flagship here, with all of the beautiful views and finishes that we're offering, I truly believe this is a once-in-a-generation type of property. Like one of one, we'll never see this again.
Yeah, I really consider this to be like a trophy property.
Yeah.
Like if you want to have that property in your portfolio, you want that vacation home, you want it to be this, definitely. And you touched up on what was going to be my follow-up question, which is the team behind it. One of the things that I do all the time and my clients know is research that developer. If I don't know who it is, if they've never built something, I kind of question it, especially when we're talking, this is high-end, top of the line luxury.
100%.
Who's the team?
So we have Swire Properties is our developer, right? They're one of the most well-known developers we have down here, one of the largest and strongest developers. Been building here for over 40 years. Kind of single-handedly changed the entire dynamic of Brickell, right? Because they did the Brickell City Center. They built most of what's on this island is done by the same developer. So they really wanted to bring a blend of these amazing international talents here just for this project. So you have Swire Properties, who's a developer. Our architect is Con Peterson Fox, which is KPF, which comes from New York. They're also amazing, worked in over 40 countries, have won over 300 awards. They're fantastic. Our interior designers are Tristan Auer and Laura Gonzalez, who are Parisian. They come from Paris, from France. Our landscape designer is Shaman Design, who comes from Thailand. They're amazing, one of the best landscape designers in the world. And our lighting architect comes from London. They're Spears and Major. Wow. So you have these amazing talents from all around the world being brought together for one goal to create one of the most legendary projects, not just in Miami, but in all of Florida.
And if you've ever been to a Mandarin Oriental hotel around the world, I mean, that just gives you the feeling, right? It's an experience. I always tell everybody, going to Mandarin Oriental, I've been lucky enough to be able to have gone to a number of them around the world. And I have to say, once you step into something like that, it's hard to go back to other hotels because then you start kind of saying, oh, okay, I'm used to this type of white glove, this quality, this ambiance, and that's what you get. I mean, even walking into the sales center, right? So let's talk a little bit about the product itself. Okay, so how many units? Give me more or less square footage. What does it start at?
Yeah, so we are going to be building 2 towers essentially here, right? We have the private residential tower, which is what's located on the tip of the island. 66 stories, only 228 residences. So it's not a lot of units for this size of a project. Smallest unit is about 2,300 square feet, which is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And they will get as big as 5,800 square feet, which is a large 5-bedroom unit. So they run from 2 bedrooms to 5 bedrooms. We kind of sell them as homes in the sky because they do kind of feel like that. They're very large and spacious with these beautiful large terraces that wrap around the units. You do have higher ceilings than typical. So slab to slab, we're at about 11-foot ceilings, which is fantastic. Multi kitchens, Gaggenau appliances. So basically, we're trying to use all the best materials possible because we do know that you only get one chance to create something legendary with a property like this.
And tell me about the balconies. How deep are they? Are they considered like terraces? You know, I mean, that has become a big thing in Miami. People want that outdoor space.
So here they are terraces. The architect actually gets upset when we call them balconies because they're not balconies. They're very large.
Right.
Average size for a terrace is about 1,000 square feet.
Wow.
But I do have some units that have as much as 2,800 square feet of just terrace.
That's a whole apartment.
It's a whole apartment outdoors. So the average depth is about 12 feet, but I do have some units that get as deep as 18 feet on the terraces. So they are real terraces, I would say. And then you connect that with your big living areas. That's kind of why we call them homes in the sky.
Okay, perfect. So why don't we explore a little bit about the services that you get being an owner here and also the amenities, because the amenities, that's, again, next level.
Yeah, so we actually have over 150,000 square feet of amenities. If you include hot tubs and cold plunges, you have 11 pools on the property, right? So it's almost like your own little resort on the island. You don't actually have to leave if you don't want to. You have everything you can imagine at your fingertips. And of course, you're always going to have that 5-star Mandarin Oriental service as you would expect. The other tower that I was mentioning that we're going to be building is actually going to be the hotel component. That does have a mixture of some residences in it as well. But what's important to note about it is that that hotel is set to become the new Mandarin Oriental flagship hotel for North America.
Okay.
So there's a lot of importance being placed on that hotel. So the design, the amenities, the finishes, everything is going to be absolutely stunning. And if you live on the private residential tower, you actually have access to both sets of amenities, your own private amenities plus all the amenities of the hotel as well.
So will the people on the residential tower be able to order like room service or, you know, meals from the hotel and have them delivered?
Yes, you can. So we will have 3 restaurants in the hotel tower. We didn't put one in the residential because we didn't want to take away from the privacy, but we did make sure you can order food, have it delivered directly to your unit if you like. So that way you keep that connectivity at the same time. Because it is kind of rare to have a branded tower with a separate adjacent hotel, but also interconnected, but maintaining the separation and privacy, right? So we did want to keep that, but while still giving access.
Okay. And I imagine there's going to be like a butler service. Are you going to have those types of amenities?
Yes. So everything you can imagine, everything you expect in a Mandarin Oriental 5-star hotel, you have at your fingertips, but while also keeping your privacy.
Okay.
So we're trying to create essentially one of the most exclusive and luxurious hotels and residential towers in all of Miami.
So tell me a little bit about the units in the hotel. How are those different from the ones in the residences? Is there like more flexibility with rentals? I understand, and then the residences once a year?
Yeah, so on the residence is actually minimum 6 months. So it's twice a year if you didn't want to rent them out. On the hotel tower, we're still haven't fully launched it out for sales yet, but the idea of the dynamic is the top section of that tower would be private residences, about 70 units. The middle section, we would have 28 of what's called hotel residences. So kind of the idea to be able to put it inside some kind of program, right? And the bottom section of that building being just the hotel, which is 121 keys, essentially. So those details, we're still kind of figuring them out at the moment. So we don't actually have the exact square footages of those because we haven't launched the hotel tower fully just yet. The ones that I have the details on is the South Tower.
I know when we were talking, you were telling me that you guys are 60% sold.
We're about 60% sold right now.
So if somebody comes in at this point, they still able to kind of pick and choose a line? Like, let's talk a little bit about the lines. Which are the preferred lines? Is there a line that you sold out of? Is there enough inventory for somebody that comes in now and they're like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's too late for me. I've kind of...
100%. So in this building, all the lines are great. It's very rare that I sell a project where every single line is fantastic, right? What's nice is because we do have water on 3 sides, every line has water views. So there's no line that's a bad view or anything like that. It's just a matter of preference for the clients in regards to space and the layout that they like the most.
Right.
I would always say that there is definitely units still available for everyone. 2 bedrooms, they start around 5 million at the moment. 3 bedrooms start around like 6.8, 6.9.
Okay.
4 bedrooms are going to start around like 11.4 right now. And then 5 bedrooms are going to start around 19 million. But we do have everything in between. So I wouldn't feel like you're getting in late. It's just a matter that this is one of the most successful projects in Brickell just because of how unique it is and really what we're delivering. But really, this is one of the few buildings that you can pick any line and you're going to have great layouts with amazing views, amazing finishes. There's no bad lines in the building.
Let me ask you, what is the profile of the typical buyer that's buying at the Mandarin Oriental?
So for us, our typical buyer is somebody who appreciates a high attention to detail when we talk about finishes.
Right.
They appreciate the materials that we're using. They understand the elegance and timeless design that we're trying to offer here. We do get a lot of people that come to live full time, right? That want to make this their primary home. And also people that maybe want to make this their second, third, or fourth home, right? Because Miami is such an amazing growing city. Everybody really wants to be a part of the action. And this is one of the most unique properties that you're going to find. So usually as long as timing works out with what people are looking for, this tends to check most of everyone's boxes.
And Brickell Key, for those of you that are not familiar with the island, it's right off of Brickell. So it's just, there's a bridge and you're in here and it's almost like you're in a different sector. You're in a different place. There's, the demographics in here is pretty much everyone and everything, right? There's families, there's, young professionals, there's also a small older crowd in here. You see them walking around. There's like a walkway all along Brickell Key that people love to kind of go walking, go jogging in the afternoon. You see people with strollers. I think, just the community itself, it's very unique. And you are just minutes away from absolutely everything. You go over the bridge and you have all kinds of restaurants in Brickell. You have the cinema. You have a little bit of everything, but you're still a little bit tucked away.
100%. So it was funny you say that because what we've learned is when people move to Brickell Key, they rarely leave Brickell Key because you can't really replicate this style of living anywhere else in the city, or I don't think anywhere else in the US, but you have everything. You have that beautiful boardwalk that runs around. You have a park in the center. You have your own little restaurants and shops. There's even 2 office towers on the island, but you're also 6 minutes away from walking to Brickell City Center, right? So you're kind of have that private island style of living in your own sanctuary, but with that connectivity at the same time. So it really is a very, very special place.
Yeah. And you're also very close to Miami Beach. You're, minutes from Coconut Grove, minutes from Coral Gables. So you are really in the center of Miami. And what I like also about the Brickell area is that it's pretty much developed, right? I mean, there are other projects that are coming up in other parts of Miami, but those sectors are just beginning, right, to see the development in them. You come in here and this is done. There are new buildings coming in, but it's basically just upgrading maybe an old building that was there before. So I think it's very, very unique. When is it going to be delivered?
So delivery is estimated for 2030. We are currently taking down the Mandarin Oriental, the previous one that was there, right? We closed it at the end of May to get ready for the construction of this. So we are currently taking down that tower. We're estimating to start construction around second quarter next year, sometime around then, and then delivery would be sometime in 2030. It is a large project, so it does take some time. But
have people giving you a little bit of a pushback on that delivery date?
Sometimes people say, oh, it sounds a little bit far out, but I do always mention that, listen, if there was one project that is worth the wait in Miami, it's this one. There's no other project that compares to it. There's quite frankly no comparable for me to even give you about this project. So this is one of one, never to be seen again. So I do think it is definitely worth the wait. If you have to wait an extra year or so, I would definitely do it because I would hate to regret not getting into something like this.
Absolutely. So Adrian had to run. There was a client that was waiting for him, but we're very thankful for the time he gave us today. And if you want more information on this project, if you want floor plans, if you want prices and availability, please DM me. I'll be more than happy to send it over to you. Have a great day.